All right. So a special guest tuning in so that we can get to see what the life is as an entrepreneur for a black woman, right? We have her here tuning in. Super excited to talk to her, get to know her a little bit better. Some of you might know who she is. She's very well known. Her face is all over the place. You know, anywhere you go on her into social media, you have to see her come in. Miss Jilldeen. Now, we have here Miss Jilldeen. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Maybe I have to turn my head sideways a bit. Hopefully, everything will align properly.
Hopefully.
Right. So, looking wonderful as ever, always on point. Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So today we just wanted to for you to share some light on us in terms of being an entrepreneur. Any entrepreneur, it's difficult regardless of what industry you're in.
Mhm.
So we want the people to get to know you a little bit better. If you can tell us about yourself, let us know what your business is about. I can keep the question going, and then we try to share as much as possible. Is that fair?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, perfect.
Okay, so my name is Jilldeen. I go by Jill. I started off in business. Took a specialization. Well, I went to the University of Ottawa, specialization in business management and human resource management. So I worked in the federal government for 2.5 years, both in private and public sector, for
Two
around
and a half years.
yeah.
Wow, that's a long time, right?
And I worked at one of the largest engineering firms in North America for around 2 years as well. And then I just realized that working for people is not for me. Um, I've had enough experience in both public and private sectors to realize that I can kind of just put that effort in starting my own business instead of putting that effort in building someone else's empire. So I wanted to direct that energy back into myself and took a completely quit my job and just started focusing on building my own brand. So I'm kind of working on two things right now, which I'm kind of keeping hush, but I
Is
can
this a sneak peek?
still spill just some details. Consistency, I would say, is extremely important. And I think that's hard for me at this point of time because I'm so used to working on a particular schedule in regards to when I was working a corporate job. So kind of building a regimen that works with my non 9 to 5 work schedule because I do modeling. So
Mhm.
that's not a 9 to 5 job. So my schedule is constantly changing. There's so many variables to it. So it's always good to have or try to maintain a consistent schedule that would benefit you in the long run, as well as whatever business you're trying to build. A business plan is very important. You want to ensure that you analyze the field that you're trying to break into or emerge into.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's very important to see who's doing something similar as you, who's doing something different, what's unique about the product or service you're offering that would gain your niche's attention. So all this research is extremely important. Sometimes I feel like people put, I wouldn't say put too much emphasis into building a
Mhm.
business plan as much as you need a lot of emphasis in it. It shouldn't be stressful. And I realized for me, it started to become stressful because I wasn't really focusing on what I wanted to do, is more so what I wanted to provide to people. But you have to ensure your heart and soul goes into this because this is like your baby. So it shouldn't really be that much of a stressful process if it's your business plan at the end of the day. Uh,
Exactly.
right, it's you're building your brand, so it should be organic. Don't apply too much pressure on yourself. Um, and let the process be fun. It is a fun process. Like all the research, in regards to whatever you're trying to build or establish. Like it's a fun experience, making connections, networking with different people in different industries, seeing how things come about. It's fun. So right now I'm in the process of getting logos designed.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a fun experience. Like I've been working with this girl that I met back in Ottawa, and she just does amazing animation and cartoon characters, and she's just an amazing artist all around. So I'm excited to collaborate with a Black entrepreneur. She's as well, she has her own business that she's starting off, so it's fun to always work with people of color from the BIPOC community. Um,
And you
and yeah.
see, that is golden nuggets there for everyone that's listening and for everyone that will see what's going on. Jilldeen is giving some golden nuggets, collaborating, networking, believing in yourself, doing something that you're passionate with, and especially working with people that make sense for your brand. That makes
Exactly.
sense, right? So
Yeah.
one of the topics that I wanted to touch on is in terms of raising funds for your business. How do you find that? Is that a challenging thing for you?
To be honest, right now, I wouldn't say that's it's kind of been on the back burner of my mind. Like it's always good to look for angel investors. You don't want to put all your money into it. That is not a great idea. But I feel like the most important thing first is in regards to creating your business plan is coming up with a budget and understanding how much certain things will cost. So for instance, if you're breaking into the food industry, you don't want to just put out a random figure and say, hey, I need 50,000 and you don't even know where you're allocating the money to in regards to your resources. So I feel like it's extremely important to find your manufacturers first, ensure that you're getting the best retail value. Once you have that budget down, work around whatever variable costs that you have, whatever fixed costs that you're going to have, and ensure that your lease have, if for instance you're looking for rent, at least 6 months saved up prior so that you can understand exactly how much that you expect to need to fund your business. So I would always say, yes, angel investors are extremely important. Try to look for student loans. Students, if you are, well, if you're are students or in school, always look for student loans. It's just cheaper interest. Go to your bank, get a financial advisor. They should be extremely helpful. But also to save. Like it's extremely important to save, 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 save. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. That's something that you don't want to do because once you kind of burn out of funds, you're going to start taking loans from whether it's different banks or different kind of loan sharks that the interests that are extremely high. And before your business can even start, you're in so much debt. And you're trying to figure out how to pay for this debt, and you don't even have a business operating. So it's
Yeah.
always important to come up with a budget, stick to that budget, always try to get, I wouldn't say the cheapest value, but good quality. Quality over quantity in a sense, which is like once you ensure that you have something that is of good value, you know that it would last longer than always investing into cheap products. So
Yeah.
come up with that budget first and then figure out your financial route because it's different for everybody.
All right. And you touched a key point in the topic of angel investors. Now, the question that I have for you, given the fact that we're talking about women entrepreneurs, is it hard for a woman to get an angel investor as opposed to a male?
Um, I mean, based on statistics, it has shown that it is, or just for people of color in general.
Hmm.
However, but when you do look at certain facts, women of color are quicker, are actually more entrepreneurial than men of color. So, excuse me.